Right now, we got our next guest ready to rock and roll. He is an old friend of the show. Very intriguing concept coming up for his next fight. He, of course, is the former Power Ranger, Jason David Frank, but he's got a very intriguing thing going on right now. Through May, you can actually vote, or through part of May, you can actually vote on competitors to face Jason David Frank in his next fight coming up in Texas in June. So it's a very intriguing concept. They have a few opponents listed on a website, and you'll hear all about it during the interview, but, pretty intriguing little idea, and I like it a lot. So they're going to be running this contest for a few more weeks, so if you get a chance to get out there and vote for the guy you want to see face Jason David Frank next. But let's talk to him. As I mentioned, he's a former Power Ranger, now professional mixed martial artist. His name is Jason David Frank. Let's talk to him. MMA Weekly Radio, Damon Martin, back with one of our very favorite guests, Jason David Frank. Jason, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back. It's been a while, but I love coming back to you guys' show. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, last time we talked to you was before your last fight was scheduled. Unfortunately, it didn't end up happening.
No, I was a little upset at that, man. In the MMA world, there's a lot of promotion stuff going on, a lot of promoters, and, a lot of controversy and the stuff. So, unfortunately, I trained, I dropped weight, I was ready, and then that's kind of the worst feeling, just getting there and then the whole show just shutting down, Not for my reasons at all. Had nothing to do with me and, just problems with the promoter and other issues and stuff like that. I guess my opponent's blood work came back bad, and it just was a mess. So I just put my head back in the game, training really hard, and switched camps. So I'm with a new camp now out of here in Houston, Silverback MMA here in Houston, Texas, with Coach Tony, Coach Jazz, Coach Julio. I've been working a lot on all my different, boxing and kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, and actually it's been really, really well. It's been really going good for me, man. I'm really happy with it. So I'm excited with my new team, and we got some exciting teammates. Derek, who was the number one heavyweight here in Houston. I spar with him a lot, and he's a big dude, and I got some big guys now I can finally spar over there, so I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. Was there one reason, 10 reasons? What was the biggest thing that made you decide to switch camps?
Well, Rocky Long is a great trainer, don't get me wrong, but Rocky went into promotions and stuff, and, when you go into promotions and other things, it just really takes you away from, focusing on one particular thing. Silverback MMA, they're not into promotions. They're into promoting the fighters, but also training. And I just needed consistency. And, I love Rocky. He was a great guy, but it was just one of those decisions that I decided to, Silverback, being in Houston, I have 98% people who love me. Then the 2% people that are haters are those keyboard warriors that just won't leave me alone. And, those 2%, who cares? I'm here for the 98% of the people that love me. And Silverback was one of the 98% of the people who, liked me, believed in me, and for a long time. So I just went there, and several reasons, but honestly, just something new. And I'm here with Silverback. I'm not going nowhere. They've showed a lot of loyalty and support with me. Dale's over there. A lot of good people that a lot of teammates went with me too. Mac, the guy I first fought, he's over there now. We just got a lot of good people over there, and I'm happy. So as long as I'm happy, and it really comes down to time. I train a lot of different hours throughout the day, but their time just really fits my needs. They're always there for me when I need it, and I need to just get in and out and train for 3 hours. And I got schools to run. I'm a dad. I got a lot of things going on. I'm a family man. I got just a lot of stuff going on. So it's just several reasons, but I'm happy where I'm at.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Jason, because obviously with you still got a movie career going on. You mentioned you got a family. Lots of other stuff going on. And one of the biggest things I hear from guys in the MMA world is when you deal with promoters that are unprofessional, they don't have their stuff together. Whatever the case may be. Now I'm not trying to point fingers at the last promotion you worked with, but does that ever get frustrating for you?
Yeah, it does, because fortunately for me, I'm not doing it for money. But there's a lot of my friends that live paycheck to paycheck. So when a fight doesn't come through and you train for 3 months and you don't even get your show money, you don't get any money, it really puts a damper on things. And, I'm not doing this for money, but even with me, man, you put all the training in, you're not fighting, you're not getting paid. It just was 3 months that made you better, but it does get frustrating. And, I don't just have small schools here in Houston. I mean, my schools are really big. Between all three of my schools, I have about 1,000 students. I got a school in California, Rising Sun Karate Academy, mixed martial arts in California, and we've got 300 students there. Randy Word runs that school for me, real good partner, been loyal for years. I got a partner here, Jason Felton, at the Kingwood School where I'm at now, and then I run my big school at Atascocita with Sam, one of my instructors that run that school, Sam and Jordan. So, I train a lot of staff members to keep a really successful karate school. My kids are good. I mean, my karate kids are really, really good. I got a lot of national competitors. In fact, I sent a student, Cole, who used to be a brown belt here, to John Hackelman's camp, and he was destroying kids in stand-up. I mean, he won the first tournament over there. The only thing he lacked, of course, was wrestling and jiu-jitsu. But now we put that together. I got, Gracie Baja's right next door to me now, and, with Tony, I'm doing tons of jiu-jitsu over there, and, everything's just kind of falling into place. And I think I'm in a better position right now in my life to take a little bit more serious fights. And that's kind of what's going on now, is that, Houston, I'm pretty much letting everyone pick who I'm fighting. There's 5 people that the fans pick, so there's no controversy. They can pick whoever they want. I'll fight anybody, and it's just coming down to that, So that's what we have going on with Legacy Fights now here in Houston. I'm fighting for them July 16th, and the fans are pretty much, I wouldn't say fans. I honestly, I say the haters. Fans love me, but the haters are picking people who want to fight me, and that's fine. So we're down to 5 candidates, and go to Legacy Fights and click on and pick the guy I'm fighting. I don't really care at this point. I'm really well trained. I'm ready to go in, and I'm just ready for battle. And and I've been training every single day, and I've been excited about it. So
yeah, absolutely. Now I love the concept of the fans getting to pick your fight. It's something different and something kind of cool, and it gets a lot of interactivity. I know you love interacting with your fans. This is a whole new level.
Yep, it is. And, fans always say, hey, who do you want to fight? And, it don't matter, honestly. I do got my eye on a few people, but I'm keeping that under the hat. And the guy I have my eye on will definitely win because I know he will. And he's from a camp out here that, no one really likes. And, it's going to be great to go in there. And I'm just doing what I can. And, I feel there's a lot of, I used to get frustrated. I used to go on the computer and, and you read all this hate stuff. But you know what? I don't do that no more. So people that write, I interact with the fans. I interact with people who love me. Everyone's always got something bad to say. And my philosophy is I could be spending all these hours on the computer reading about things, but I'm sharpening my sword instead. I'm training, and I'm doing what I have to do. I'm not going to waste any time reading something bad about me, because I realized in life it doesn't matter who, and I'm sure you have it too. If it's competitors or if it's someone else, you always have, even someone that's never met you before, going to always say something about you. And no matter what you do, you're not going to make them a fan. So you just kind of ignore them, and that's kind of what I've been doing and been learning in this business. Ever since I got into the mixed martial arts business here in Houston, it's kind of like a high school scene, to be honest with you. There's a lot of immature people. It's a high school scene. It's, my fighter's better than your fighter. That's why I'm letting the fans pick. I'll go in, do my job, and take care of it. I think until people get to the bigger leagues, then maybe it becomes a little bit more professional. Sure, you have those breakouts and, weigh-ins, and that's to hype up the show. Look what Koscheck and GSP did, but GSP handled himself like a gentleman. And even after he whooped him, he told him, hey, give credit to Koscheck, and he's a gentleman of what martial arts is all about. I just wish we had more people in that kind of sport, but we don't have, because it's a man's, I'm better than you type of sport. I just really wish that martial arts can be brought into the sport. But it's very hard to bring that type of attitude into the sport because, your testosterone's up there, you're angry, it's a lot different world than I really thought it was going to be. So I try to stay positive, and I try to stay around the positive people that won't take me to the negative place.
Yeah. I know, from talking to Frank Shamrock over the years, I know him pretty well. He was one of the guys that always said, mixed martial arts, would eventually be the death of traditional martial arts, and that made him sad because he grew up as a traditional martial artist, and I love both. I mean, I grew up in traditional martial arts, but I love MMA. How can we combat that? Do you think it's something that's going to happen? Because you mentioned that mindset, that mindset is way different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know why I think it's going to happen is because you have a lot of good people out there. Like Mike Bronzoulis is one of my friends, and he holds the 170 title out here. He did an awesome fight on Sharks. Okay, he fought a guy 20-10. You know, people were like, "Oh, that fight was sloppy." That Mike won. He won a guy who was taller, stronger, had more fights than him. Mike is still undefeated here in Houston. I know Mike will get his chance at the UFC, but Mike's an incredible, talented fighter. The only problem is that he doesn't have ranks in certain things. Like, he's not ranked as a karate guy. He's not ranked in jiu-jitsu, which is phenomenal in all of them. You know, and I feel that you know, people, I don't need credentials. Well, I don't need this. Well, you know what? That's where the true martial arts began. There was an original belt, which was the color of white. You never paid for testing fees. You only had one belt, which was white. And over a period of time, the belt got darker and darker and darker. Then it became black. Then people would say, wow, you're a black belt. That's how the whole belt system came into theory. But the problem is no one's really caring about belts no more. And it's not about, well, I'm a, 7th-degree black belt, I'm going to go in there. No, it's about teaching the youth of earning goals and having a mindset of saying, you know what, I want to get my next belt. And karate has been watered down. Even Taekwondo has watered down the whole system. There's a lot of politics behind everything. But no matter what system it is, I think it's very important for people to earn credentials and belts. And it's just, what's the difference of earning a title than earning a black belt? You go, my school is not easy to get a black belt. It's very hard to get a black belt. You just got to look at what schools you want to go to. Then there's other schools you can get a black belt in 18 months. At my school, you got to be here 7 years. There's no belt testing fees, and we're going to test you about 12 hours. It's a very, very hard test. It pushes people to the limits. I've had a guy who has been in college and went to Pepperdine University, Dave Rosar, Dean, and all these people said, Dave Rosar, one of my black belts, told me, wow, this was better than anything I've ever earned in college, achieving this black belt. And it's not an easy test. So I think people are not looking at it that way no more. It's kind of like what they can do. Well, we don't need a belt because the mat don't lie. That's correct. But what's going to happen after your MMA career and you want to open a school? Are you going to say, well, I'm just MMA guy, I got 20 wins? Who cares? You don't have credentials from all these old school Japanese guys that the family tree goes way back in history. They're just kind of starting from fresh. That's what I think Frank was talking about, traditional martial arts. And these people, are teaching MMA. There's no rank system. There's no belt system. It's just go out there, kick butt. But that's not what karate was designed for. Karate was designed for goal-oriented people. At the same time, karate was designed for the little guy to take out the bigger guy. And then karate was designed to send against animals a long time ago. But we have lost that tradition. But champs like George St. Pierre is still there. And that tradition is still there. So you have a lot of good people that are out there that are still doing the martial arts. But unfortunately, I have to agree with Frank that eventually, in time, mixed martial arts will take over, and you'll have all these mixed martial arts schools everywhere, and the whole rank system won't even be in place. It won't even matter. If you're a yellow belt, blue belt, it won't even matter. And that's sad to see, because there's thousands of years that go back into this ranking system that we're just
and I think there's a lot of positives for MMA, because obviously you're an MMA fan, I'm an MMA fan. I mean, I want to see the sport get bigger and things like that, but as a person that grew up around karate and jiu-jitsu and different things, it is sad to see some of the more traditional arts, kind of go away.
Yep, but this is the new thing. These kids won't know a difference. Mixed martial arts is going to be the way to go. They're going to be excited. They're going to train. I just hope that they get the message I got when I trained in karate, was with the brotherhood, the dedication, the respect, the cooperation, discipline, confidence, attitude, and self-respect. We had creeds. There was a reason why we did martial arts. You can teach mixed martial arts as long as you don't forget the values of what we're teaching kids of America today. Say no to drugs. Choose right from wrong. These are things that need to be installed constantly in our kids, or we're just going to go ahead and train them in karate, and then they're going to punch someone at school, and it's just going to escalate violence everywhere. I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts, but if you're going to teach it to kids, you have to have a guideline, and you still, I believe, have to stick to the traditions of Mr. Miyagi theory. I really believe that, or it's just going to go out of hand.
I do think the one thing that MMA does carry from the traditional martial arts is the team aspect, because we see it with a lot of the big camps like your camp. I mean, you came on here and immediately started talking about your teammates. We see that a lot in MMA. So that's one aspect I think we will carry over, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I do. I totally agree with that. But I believe that mixed martial arts teaches a lot of adults. I don't, when it comes to kids, I still think that kids, because my school's an award-winning school. I mean, I've won awards across the world for my karate school. I've tested out mixed martial arts. I've tested out karate. Karate is still one of the biggest things that sells for kids. In fact, I've had a couple mixed martial arts tournaments here, and I've had parents cancel because they say they just don't want to cheer on their boy beating up another kid. They don't understand the competition aspect of that. So it needs to be balanced out. For adults, absolutely, mixed martial arts, this is my team, this is what I'll do. But when it comes to kids, they have to know the difference. Hey, you can't go to school, pick someone up, double leg them, and stuff the fist down their throat. That can't be done. So I'm hoping that in time, that mixed martial arts still has those theories, and they still have the codes of the dragons, and they still raise your right hand, I promise not to use karate on my brother and sister, my friends, or anyone else. Those are important, and I hope that stays, because my little girl, she does mixed martial arts. She's 6. She's a tough little girl. She won 2nd in Cage War. Jenna, she's tough, and I'm glad she's tough. But I also teach her how to do it the right way. When to do it, when not to do it. But the most important thing that I care about my little girl is that she can beat up her boyfriend's butt. That's all I care about. I don't want her to get taken.
Yeah, well, that's just like you brought up Karate Kid, one of my favorite all-time movies. That's you got the teachers like Mr. Miyagi, and you got the Cobra Kai schools. Keep them away from the Cobra Kai schools, right? Just there's always.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
now you got this. Obviously, the fans are choosing your next fight, which I know is going to happen in May. Now, when does the voting close for the fight preparation? When will you find out for sure who you're fighting?
The voting's going to close May 14th, and my fight's
July
going to be
16th.
July 16th.
I'm sorry.
So I still got time. Yeah, July 16th. It's going to end on May 14th. So legacyfights.net or .com, just Legacy Fights in Houston. You can vote on there, and so I'm excited, man. I mean, it's come down to 5 people, and it doesn't matter. This is the name of the game. I'm just there's a lot of people that, like I said, there's one particular guy, and I'm not even going to mention his name on this because he don't deserve it. One guy didn't even shake my hand that's in the first 5 that they picked, and I hope I fight him, and I'm probably going to. But I just feel that's disrespectful. I shook everyone's hand, and he didn't shake my hand. That's not sportsmanship. So I'm hoping that, that's the guy that, I get to fight. And the way it's looking pretty good right now. So, but ultimately, I'm excited, and, it's just the name of the game, and I got a movie, The One Warrior, that's now finished and completed, and I'm doing a Christian movie in May. The name will be determined, and the reason why I'm doing the Christian movie is, I got Jesus in tap, and it just came to me, and I just want to do something good for God, to be honest with you, and to continue being a good role model, and I just donated my services for absolutely free on the movie, so I'm excited about it. I'm getting the script. They're writing a special part just for me, so that's going to be in May, so I got some stuff going on, but I train every day at Silverback, and, those guys push me over there. It's definitely a hard camp, and it's stuff that I've never done before. But, Coach Tony, I love the guy, and, he texts me all the time, and anytime I have a problem, they take care of their fighters. Anytime you're going through a personal problem, they're there for you. They want to make sure your mind's straight and all that stuff, and I'm just excited, so it's one of those things where I get to train and, be happy. Then, of course, I go home to my family and, eat dinner tonight. And so that's pretty much what I'm going to do.
Well, Jason, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. Obviously, hopefully we can have you on the show once you find out who your opponent is. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And before I get you out of here, obviously you got your teammates, sponsors, people supporting you. Anybody you want to give a shout to, go right ahead.
I appreciate everybody who's looking out for me, honestly, all the fans out there that constantly support me. We got, G's in Tap, Bull Shirts is now, I've merged with the big company, Bull Shirts, so, they're there. And pretty much all the people that are running my school, and I already mentioned them, and, my family, and I'd like to thank God for me being here, and, Mick and Colin at Legacy, who's giving me a chance to fight on their card July 16th. So if you haven't got a chance to vote, go ahead and you can go to my Facebook at Jason David Frank official fan page, and go ahead and vote for someone, and I'm going to fight him. But also, Damon, thanks to you guys for putting me on the air and, giving me a chance to reach out and talk and tell people what I'm up to. I always appreciate you guys having me, and I love the
Absolutely. We always love having you on, Jason. Best of luck in training. Like I said, I'm sure we'll talk to you before the next fight happens in July.
You got it, buddy.
All right. Talk to you soon.
You got it, buddy. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right.